Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? We are going live tonight to do comic book lips. We are going live on my page. I'm not going to wait around for too many people to show up. If you show up, you show up. I'm kind of hoping people do, but we are live, I think. Somebody should show up and tell me if we're live in a minute. So we are doing comic book lips tonight, and I realized the last couple of times I did videos that I've done everybody a extreme disservice because I had half the makeup done before I got online because I was trying to cut down on how much time I was taking of everybody's time frames. So I don't want to do that. So I started from bare basics to where you were actually going to see what was going on. So I'm going to post in the comments right here. Picture, hopefully. It won't let me post in the comments. A picture. How rude. Okay, I'll post it afterwards. So, of what exactly we're doing. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Best friend Jessica. So anyway, as I said, we're going to start from a fresh face. Instead of actually having makeup on today, I decided to start from the bare basics because I thought everybody knew how to put lipsticks on and knew how to apply the colors, and I may have been assuming something, and everybody needs to start from scratch. Besides the fact, we've had an exciting week. I started a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel. I can't even say the word, I'm so excited about it. Which means that a whole bunch of people out there are going to get to watch me do this who have never heard of Senegence or LipSense before. So I'm going to start from the basics and start from the very, very bottom. So what we're looking at right now is what I guess the Hunger Games would refer to as Beauty Base Zero. The only thing I've done today is a scrub down and a primer, which means that I've used my Silk Pore and Wrinkle Minimizer, which I will post a picture of later, and my Color Correcting Tinted Moisturizer. That's the only thing on my face right now. Although I will admit to the fact that I put my mascara on before the video because I can't seem to get mascara on without ruining the rest of my makeup all the way up here and everything. So I put it on first so that I could clean up around the edges because I can't seem to do it properly. I'm kind of weird, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, we're going to start with the Everyday Red color for the bright red comic book lips. So what I'm doing here is I've got just a moist towelette. This is just witch hazel. Nothing unique or strange about it. I'm just going to use witch hazel. And I'm going to clean any gloss I have or anything I left over from dinner off my lips. Going to start fresh. And I will tell you that I've got a little bit of chapped lips going on today because I've been chewing on my lips because I've been very nervous because my boss had his first baby today, and so the whole office is in an uproar, and we're all excited about a cute little baby. So, and yes, the baby's doing fine, and so his mama. So what I'm doing here is I'm shaking my red. I'm going to use blue red for the base classic red of the comic books. I've got a mirror up here, so if you see me looking away, I'm not really trying to be rude. I've got a mirror going. So when you're putting LipSense on, there's not a lot of talking because the minute you tap your lips together while you're talking, you're creating ridges, and that creates a way for the lip color to come off. It'll last 4 to 18 hours, depending on your person, if you put it on properly. So thank you, Jessica. Yes, Mike is very excited. He's got the new little baby going on. So 3 thin layers. And don't touch your lips or talk a whole lot while you're putting it on so that it stays put. Application is important if you're going to get it on properly. So what we're going to do is I'm going to look up at the mirror up here. I'm going to put on the red, and you're not going to hear a lot of talking. Now, if I was really good about this, I'd have some music playing in the background, and I thought about Pretty Woman soundtrack, and I didn't have enough time to get it all done properly. But I should have done that. That would have been awesome, huh? Pretty Woman in the background while I was doing this. Let me move this mirror down here, actually, to where you can get a better look at what I'm doing. We're going to start in one corner and go in one direction. Same thing for the top. One direction. I'm gonna let that dry. Ha 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 ha. Hi, Anda. Jessica can tell you what we're doing because I can't talk a whole lot on. Three layers, so this is two. We're gonna let it dry a couple of seconds. Itch. Classic red. And red. It's okay, Jessica. You can always watch it later. Okay. So at this point, normally you do putting the glossy gloss on. Oh, we're not going to do that today. Okay. That's without the gloss. There's still none transferring. You love that, don't you? I love the red. It's such a true red classic color, especially when you're talking about comic books and stuff. So now what we're going to do here is I have said that the makeup is for every day as well as for cosplay and comic book type stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that the Onyx, which is what I use for eyeshadow, is going to do the black on my lips, but it's also going to do, you always see me with this great eyeshadow going on. And it's really just, when you're talking about two-dimensional world like comic books, you've got to have the dark black defining lines, otherwise you're not really two-dimensional. And I keep looking at the Facebook camera instead of at my mirror down here. So you've got to have these nice black dark defining lines. So I'm also going to do it above my eyes. And when you're putting ShadowSense on above your eyes, make sure you keep your eyes closed until it sets. It is a cream to powder, so you do want it to set. So we're going to put that defining black line there. Let it set. Again, comic book world is two-dimensional. So you want to have these defining black lines to give you the dimension. So we've got this dark black going on. You let that set, it's going to stay. Isn't that great? Now this is the everyday eyeshadow. This is the everyday eyeliner that I would wear. So we've got this. I'm actually going to use the matte gloss, but I'm going to use it after the ShadowSense is on. I'm not actually going to use a glossy gloss at all because ShadowSense and glossy gloss don't seem to go together very well. I'm going to use a matte gloss for the moisturizer and to help take the stickiness of the Senegence Lip Sense away. So I use a matte gloss on top of, anytime I put eyeshadow, the ShadowSense on my lips, I use matte gloss. So the next step in this is I'm actually going to take my phone over here. I love my phone. It's such a great, nifty, handy-dandy little thing. I feel like I'm in Blue's Clues world. And I'm going to have the picture of what I'm doing up on my phone over here to where I can kind of refer back to that picture. So the first thing we're going to do is the black on the lips is that defining black line all the way around, because we are in comic book world, and like I said a minute ago, we do need to have that defining black line. Yeah, right. You remember me saying that Glossy Gloss and ShadowSense really don't get along. And there are a couple of distributors out there that say it works great together. Personal opinion is ShadowSense and Glossy Gloss don't get along very well. For whatever reason, I find that Glossy Gloss breaks down the ShadowSense and makes it smear. I don't like smears. So I use matte gloss instead. So what I'm doing is I'm using the same brush. It's got a little angled tip on it that I used on my eyes. And I'm going to use this to outline the black for my lips. I like the angled brush. I keep tapping it on the ShadowSense over here. I like the angled brush because it lets you see what you're doing with a little bit more definition. And being as my freehand is not always the best in the world, that definition is kind of important to me. So and I'm going to do the tracing on the top as well. ShadowSense being that cream to matte, cream to powder gives you that just an extra minute to kind of put it where it belongs. So okay, now we've got the black outline. It's the same black we use every day on our eyes. I'm referring back to my picture to make sure that I know what I'm doing here. The next part of the black is that inner line, because you want the defining black line to give you that two-dimensional look. But the next part is you want the inner line because that gives you the shadow look. It gives you the definition of where the inside of the mouth is. So I'm going to go back to my here. Now this is the part where I may not talk a whole lot because the ShadowSense does need a minute to set up. So, you know, we'll have to deal with that. Again, I should have had music playing. Pretty Woman would have been great about now. So we're going to go with the water line. And the angled brush, again, perfect for the top lid. Alright, so everyday lips and more. The same shadow on my eyes, the same brush I use on the shadow on my eyes, the same black on the lips as the shadow on the eyes. Isn't it great? So it says 3 people are here, but I still only see Jessica. I don't know who else is here. Now for the lines, to give that definition down the inside, back to everyday things. Toothpicks. I like toothpicks. Back to my ShadowSense. All I'm going to do here is just get a little bit. Remember, it goes to cream to powder really quick, so we're just going to get a little bit on our toothpick, right? I'm going to trace down the lines that are already in our lips. The creases that might already happen. not a lot, because you want it to dry pretty quick. Okay, so now we have, hi Nikki. Come to yours. Nikki, you're in Houston, really? And I have a trash can over here somewhere. So that's the onyx. The onyx goes on my eyes. The onyx goes on my lips. The onyx goes on with the same brush, nice little tip, on my eyes or on my lips, and it's great. Now at this point, I'm bending over to look in my mirror. We got the black shadowing and the top shadowing. Yeah, really. No, I'm not going to Houston. So I'm going to refer back to my picture over here. And the next thing it's looking like doing is it needs, so we've got the red for the color, we've got the black for the two-dimensional dimensioning with the lines. The next thing we have to do to get that comic book two-dimensional look is we need to add the light. Add the glare from the lighting and things of that nature to make it look like we're in a real world, but we're still two-dimensional instead of three-dimensional. So I'm going to go back over here to my handy-dandy little brushes and stuff, and while the shadow is setting up the rest of the way, we're going to talk again about the fact that LipSense and Senegence is everyday wear. The priming with the silk, the priming with the color tinted moisturizer, the same color I wear every day, the same black eyeshadow I wear every day. We're also going to use the same light color we'd wear every day as well. This is Candlelight. I know that a lot of people say use the shadow, the snow when you're doing the comic book lips, but snow is not an easy one to find, and it's also not one people are going to wear every day. I wear Candlelight every day, people. Candlelight is one of my favorite things in the entire world. The reason being for that, you see that I have a little bit of a bug bite going on over here. It's already covered with my color correcting tinted moisturizer. You can see I have a little bit of a red marking here, and I have a 6-year-old. I've got dark shadows under my eyes. So my Candlelight is actually one of the best things for brightening up my eyes. Isn't it great? For setting a base for any other colors I'm going to use up here. It under your eyebrow, don't put it on top of your eyebrow, and over your eyebrow. We'll define that eyebrow just a little bit more and give you some color there. I'm going to use it as a concealer over here on this bug bite and blend it in just a little. And that goes away. I'm going to use it very gently as a concealer right here, a little bit more than my color correcting tinted moisturizer. And this is Candlelight. It is a very cream to powder, just like every other, and you can see the difference between one eye and the other eye as far as the Candlelight giving. I'm going to move my ring light back a little so you can get a little bit. You can see the definition more. You can see where the Candlelight has actually brightened up the corners, brightened up under my eyes, given it, taken some of those dark shadows away. Like I said, I do have a 6-year-old. This is everyday wear. Back up here to give me a base for any other color I'm going to wear for the day. Under my eyebrow to give me some definition there, because it's going to make the eyebrow look darker in and of itself. Over the eyebrow. Again, I'm right-handed, so I'm having a hard time with the left side here. But the Candlelight defines without giving you too much color, and it makes your eyebrows look darker, even if you haven't put anything on them yet, which I haven't. So, everyday wear, Candlelight. One of the best things I've ever purchased for myself. But getting back, love how versatile. Yes, Candlelight is awesome. Getting back to comic book lips. We want to give us that two-dimensional look of being in comic book world. And to do that, we have to give the black outline, because that's what draws in the person. We have to give it the bright red color to be in, you know, bright. The second part, the third part of that is we have to give it some light. We've got to give it some shine to make it look like it's actually in a two-dimensional world versus a three-dimensional world, because we don't actually have sunlight or natural light causing lights and shimmers and shines in a comic book. So we have to do that artificially. We do that artificially by adding a little bit, not a lot. Turn my light back on over there. A little bit more than what I just did. Of color to make it look like we have sunlight glaring on it. We're going to add a little to the bottom. Not in hard defining lines, in broken lines. Darker, lighter, but broken. You don't want it to be solid. Because then it doesn't look like it's sunlight. We're going to come back up here. And we've given it that defining light, where we've made it dark before, where we've given it that two-dimensional darkness before. Now we've given it light. We've given it glare. We've told our lips that they are two-dimensional, but they are not two-dimensional. So now we have this beautiful comic book lip going on. But it's still not everyday wear, so it is still not that two-dimensional. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our onyx. Nope, that's not onyx, that's brown. Where'd my onyx go? Where'd onyx go? Oh, it's standing up. Somebody stole my onyx. I did it myself. So we're going to go back to our onyx, and we're going to add some more two-dimensional color to the entire face. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn my picture back on over here so I can actually see what I'm doing. Is you don't have a nose in comic book world unless it's drawn in. You're two-dimensional. So all the shadowing over here, this is all white. This is all black. This is two-dimensional. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very gently draw in a nose. And I should have done that so now, in a two-dimensional world, I have a nose. And in a two-dimensional world, a comic book world, the only way to have a jawline is to draw it in. The only way to have a cheekbone is to draw it in, because these things don't exist in a two-dimensional format. We're going to take the same black here and we're going to give us some definition. From this side of the face, I now have a chin, I have a mouth, I have a nose. Isn't it great? We're going to color in the black eyebrow just a little bit to give it some more define, except for we're not going to color it in all the way. We're going to take that black eyebrow, and my brush has got ShadowSense in all the wrong places. Where's my Q-tip? Okay, so Foops remover. You get ShadowSense where it doesn't belong, you use a Q-tip, and you remove it. Because it's that simple to remove ShadowSense from where it doesn't belong. That simple to remove ShadowSense from where it doesn't belong. Okay, so comic book lips. Comic book face. Back to defining that eyebrow. We're just going to use the right brush this time. Because in a comic book world, you're two-dimensional. And none of this exists. Okay, my drawing sucks tonight. None of this exists without being drawn in. Yep, really sucks tonight. So we're gonna leave that off. Okay, so like I was telling Jessica earlier, I don't use glossy gloss on my lips when I've used ShadowSense, because every time I've done it, personal opinion, if you use glossy gloss, it comes off. So I use matte. You do want the gloss, you do want the moisturizer. So I use matte. Hi, Jane. So we're going to use matte gloss. And I just made a horrible mistake there because I forgot my icicle. And not a single one of you mentioned that to me. So we're going to put the icicle on instead. Yep. But hey, ShadowSense didn't go anywhere. That's blue red. Icicle. Icicle is a clear lip sense. That's all it is. It's clear. You don't have to shake it. There's no pigment in it. What we're going to do is we're going to put on icicle in thick layers to protect the ShadowSense. Thick layers, because I want it to have a chance to protect the ShadowSense. Because ShadowSense does rub off on your lips if you're not careful. So I'm using thick layers of icicle. What happened, Jessica? I use icicle. Look, no, the black lines all over my face. What happened is when you're in a two-dimensional world, you don't have a nose unless it's drawn on. You don't have a jawline unless it's drawn on. No smile crease, no cheekbone. You don't have any of this unless it's drawn on in a two-dimensional world. So outside of the comic book lips, we want a two-dimensional world going on here. So I just put my icicle on, and I've got everything drawn in so that if I turn my face, I am two-dimensional. Now that I've got the icicle on and set for a minute, I'm going to put the matte back on. Because I should have done that first, otherwise you get ShadowSense all over your matte gloss, and I didn't want to do that. So now that my icicle is on, they're going to put, now like I said, I use the matte gloss because glossy gloss has a tendency to break down the ShadowSense. So matte gloss, the blue-red lip sense, the candlelight instead of snow, because candlelight is a more versatile color to use over everything else on your face. I was showing somebody earlier that you love the face drawing, really, that the Foops remover, anybody that's going to use a lot of ShadowSense, I actually recommend that you get it absolutely, because the Foops remover takes off very quickly and very easily any makeup you put on for Senegence outside of your lip sense. So that black line over here, you see how light I'm rubbing? That comes off just like that. When you want it to come off, it comes off just like that. I really like the Foops remover if you're going to be using ShadowSense on a regular basis. You saw me earlier, I stuck a Q-tip in my Foops remover because it's a great way to clean up under your eyes if you happen to mess up or anything like that. So I'm going to take off the black on my nose because it looks kind of dumb. But you can see how red my nose is. Fups Remover is taking off the color correcting tinted moisturizer as well, because Fups Remover is designed to break down and take off all of that. So what do we use today? Let's recap. Base, silk. Gotta love our silk. Base, color correcting tinted moisturizer, because, well, your color needs smoothing out. Otherwise you've got blotches. Then we used Blue Red. We used Onyx, if I can find it. I always lose my Onyx, for the black. We used Candlelight for the highlighting on the lips and for highlighting above the brow. And oh, there's still a black mark right there. Sorry about that. Under your eyes to brighten it up, hide those dark shadows that kids give us. We used Brown Lash Sense, which I did before we got on board because I'm horrible about putting Lash Sense on and not getting it everywhere, so I always put it on before everything else so that I don't have mascara everywhere. And we use matte gloss. I use matte gloss, like I said, because I find that glossy gloss breaks it down. If you want to use the glitter gloss, be my guest. Use a thin layer of the glitter gloss over your comic book lips, and then let the matte gloss go on after that. Matte gloss just, I feel, has a better staying power. Now remember that ShadowSense on your lips is not going to stay as long as LipSense. Why is that? Because ShadowSense is designed to be waterproof, smudge-proof, wear-proof on your eyeballs. Not on your lips, because our saliva is great to break down ShadowSense. It just does. So ShadowSense will not stay on your lips as long as it stays on your eyes, and it will not stay on your lips as long as LipSense will. But it also doesn't smudge off the same way standard lipstick does. Now, if I rubbed it, yes, you might get a smear, but it's not coming off the same way standard lipstick does. Let me turn my coffee cup around and sip from this side. No red, no black, no Candlelight. I got iced tea on my lips, which is what I'm drinking at the moment, and it's still not coming off. So it will smear off if you really want it to, but it's not kissing off, it's not smearing, it's staying on and looking like, ha, I came out of Spider-Man. So, anybody have any questions? Anybody want to know something else or anything of that nature? If not, we're going to get to the part where I tell you I do this for a living. So please buy from me. I sell this stuff. I do this for a living. I enjoy what I do, so I sell it to fund my addiction. So help me fund my addiction and buy it. I will set up a set. I will even give a discount for everything I wore today for anybody who wants to have the whole set. But as I said, please, I do this for a living. I'm on YouTube now. You can find me there, Everyday Lips and More, or Stephanie Rogers. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. Find me, talk to me, tell me if you want to see something spectacular in any of the next videos. Please be my guest. I realize I still have black all over my face. Hi Sharon, how you doing? But again, I do this to fund my addiction. So if you like what I do, even if you can't purchase anything, please share it around. Help me out here. I sell it for a living. Everything I've worn today is something I wear every day to work, from the red to the eyeshadow that's also on the black, to the Candlelight, which acts as my concealer all the way around, which also is the lighting, highlighting on the lips. So please, share me around. Let everybody, shared twice, thank you. Let everybody know what's going on. If you like what I do, please share it. If not, let me know, and we'll try something different. But, as I said, this is absolutely amazing product. Both the skincare, both the cosmetics, everything I have tried has been amazing. Any questions, let me know, and I will definitely try to answer it. Hey Sharon, I'm so glad you're enjoying the video. And I'm so glad you like the product. I hope you got your gloss okay this week. And you just completely derailed me and I don't remember what I was talking about. So, we're coming to the end of the video anyway. So share it around, help me out. Let me know if you want to see something different or special next week. We're going to try to do these things every Friday night if we can. I will have to take a Friday night off, I think on the 28th, because I'm doing a fashion show, which should be fun. I'll send some pictures out. Give me a holler, hit me up, let me know what you think, and I will talk to everybody next time. Oh, the giveaway. I will be posting the giveaway on the website later this evening. I've got to go back and double check who's shared, who's posted, who's everything. But there is an opal gloss up for giveaway tonight. And as soon as rainbow what, Jessica? Rainbow what? I don't mind rainbow, but rainbow what? Okay, you'll tell me in a minute. Lost my train of thought. Yes, the giveaway. Opal gloss, as soon as I have a chance to go back through and look at everybody's comments and everything, I will post out who got the giveaway. So, and it is an opal gloss. I do have it sitting right here. It is absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and next week maybe I'll actually put it on and show everybody what it looks like. So, rainbow makeup. I'll think about it. I love everybody. Talk to you later.